Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back. I ended up we did a little shopping today. It was really nice. Some food. Because the cops actually gave us an allowance of $50 after attempting to murder me. Now, how do I come up with that conclusion? Now, let me give you a tip off on electronic bugs and bugging technology, or RF weapons for that matter. It's painful, it's horrible, but you get results. Now, how you can capitalize on those results is a different story altogether. First time when I was first hit, this guy told me, whenever he finally had full activation, he told me to look to my left and then to look to my right. Then he told me to follow a Porsche. Then he told me to follow a limo. This is an individual who has labeled themselves as God. Literally. So this individual does not react well to being disobeyed at all. In fact, the more you disobey these individuals, the better the chance of them to show up at your front door and try to kill you. Now, why is that important? Because, well, you can eliminate the bastards the moment they show up at your front door and try to kill you. Reality hits hard. And our society is definitely not a stable one at all. It is the power of no. Do not, under any circumstances, get involved in the drug trade. The cybernetic implant trade is directly propelled by the drug trade and vice versa. Now, about this piss bomb, the sample that I sent to the FBI, along with the recommendation that I sent to the FBI via Twitter, and other people about acquiring this police officer's video of all of his statements. Now, I want to draw your attention to what a piss bomb is. Urine is comprised of sulfonylurea. Now, in the normal environment, the body does detoxify this substance because it is quite toxic. It's a natural process within our bodies. It goes in our blood and whatnot. It's one of the authors of our pH balance. The means by which our body functions normally, and it assists the pancreas. Sulfates actually increase blood pressure. And of course, there's urine, which is just general urine. Now, sulfonylurea as a medication reduces blood pressure. It increases blood pressure, but it also reduces blood sugar by an umpteenth degree. Now, what ends up happening is you feel sluggish, and you can actually have organ failure from it. Especially when it comes to it being directly connected to the brain and not an event taking place throughout the body. The brain gets confused, and it also damages brain tissue, as well as any cavity that it's attached to. Excess exposure can result in physical deterioration of tissue and fermentation, which is alcohol, which destroys brain tissue. Now, why is this cop's statement so important? Well, remember when I said that cops are guerrilla terrorists? He actually proved it in his statements on that video. Now, the reason he proved it was because the medications provided by psychiatric organizations reduce blood sugar. That is their primary purpose. This man said that I could not get a job, and the cops have been blocking me from getting a job for a fairly long time. And I have not been well. There's people who've been blacking out on the road all of the time. What's happening is that they have these piss bombs inside of them. And what ends up happening is, let's say we have a neighbor. The neighbors here are actually part of the group that cybernetically implanted us. Right? And they're covering for themselves. a lot for some screwed up reason. They're standing outside windows and they're yapping away or they're doing whatnot. They are literally making sure that you continue to attempt to either gain help or, they want their cause out there. They want their power out there. They have none. Drink a lot of water, not too much though. Actually, one of the spheres in my eyes is actually changing shape due to the damage to the tissue surrounding regions. I can consider this police officer's statements as attempted homicide. In fact, that is attempted homicide. The samples I sent to the FBI should contain dog urine as well as my own DNA from my stomach. Which also means that they've been doing this to a lot of people, including men, women, and children. And while parents clamor for the lives of their children, the cops are executing their children. And were attempting to execute me, which I'm not taking too kindly to at all. In regards to sulfate deposition, well, if you take an iron pill and you go and you put a little bit of water in it and you shove it in the microwave, iron sulfates, it'll burn the bottom of the cup if it's plastic, or it'll pop. Sulfate ignites. So what these people have been doing when they're opening fire is attempting to ignite the sulfate deposits inside your head to detonate your head. Whether it's by radio wave, which is, by the way, a part of the cybernetic implant, or whether it's by laser light or near light frequencies. In other words, these people are murdering you and you are taking it with a smile. Thus far, I've been doing all right. Just major problems with one of my eyes. These are all people who are terrorists. There is nothing about them that is either business. There's nothing about them that is friendly. These are not friendlies. These are not allies. These are terrorists. Including but not limited to incrustation of sulfates on tissue, which continues to leach and continues to reduce blood pressure, or blood sugar, excuse me. I guess I've been hit pretty hard today. When I came back from Florida Hospital in December of last year, my blood sugar was at 67, and I actually recorded it and put it up on the net. Now, while I was at Florida Hospital, behavioral health, they gave me iron sulfate pills, vitamin C, and folic acid. And we're repeatedly talking about a dog pound, as well as my need to take psychiatric medications. They're murdering everybody that goes through those doors. Same is true for Chattahoochee. I nearly died. If I had stayed there a few months longer, I probably would have died at Chattahoochee, Florida State Mental Hospital. This is all done in order to murder American citizens. It has nothing to do with therapy. It has nothing to do with health. It has nothing to do with the health of the American system, much less the financial health of this country or the survival of it. It is literally genocide. And they will do it any way, shape, or form they possibly can. My recommendation is remove the funds from the police department. Let them, if they want to go ahead and kill people, let them do it with their own remaining money. Since the government's been in shutdown, some of these people are working for no pay. I think the cops should have a taste of that. I think it would help. One of the other things is, they very much so do attack children, and it is because of the skull. Because it's very hard to investigate since the child's skull is still growing. So children are a primary target. And I've invented something that pisses these people off. Now, in regards to that, you notice how they're stalking people and they're breaking the law and they're trying to piss you off. Well, it's a death threat. They're bombing us with their technology. And I would like to have the cameras to detect all of this stuff on the road put into place as soon as possible before we don't have a country at all. There are several ventilation shafts that I've run into all over town. I couldn't figure out what the hell I was looking at. It's very possible these people have hostages underground, or have their family members from respective countries and are using blood transfusions to turn them into the families that surround these particular areas, which is why the cops are finishing the job without a gun. And the courts as well. These people may very well all be dead. With this in mind, no, do not, under any circumstances, come into Orlando without being armed. I worked at a place in Tampa years and years ago that was developing tanks. Tampa Avenue. Sorry, I wasn't in Tampa. I was in Tampa Avenue, which is right off of OBT. Right around there. Is it? Yeah. All right. They had tanks rolling around in the parking lot, small portable tanks. And it was an African-American male that was riding in the tank. This was in 1995. If you plan to engage, you need to do it soon. Do not trickle in as a small 1 or 2 people because your 1 or 2 people are dead. You cannot do this in like a small itty bitty like freaking Lone Ranger Batman shit. Does not cut the mustard with this. We're talking a cop situation of genocide. So with that being said, I would like for the FBI to do their job as best that they can and go do whatever it is that you need to do in order to survive the onslaught coming your way. And oh yeah, and the National Security Agency. Peace and love. Oh, by the way, yeah, you should have my DNA and blood and as well as your vomit. So if you have any concerns, don't call me griping. And the bank really did rob me. And they have collection agents calling me after the bank robbed me. Physically and utterly, Bank of America robbed me. Excuse me.